Who is the man who stands as the father of nations, whose faith shaped the very course of history? His name is Abraham, one of the most pivotal figures in religious history, revered in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. But what makes his story so captivating? And what lessons can we learn from his incredible journey through trials, faith, and divine promises? Stick around as we explore the life of Abraham, a man who trusted God's promises even when they seemed impossible. Long before the time of Moses, before the birth of Jesus, there was a man living in the ancient city of Ur in Mesopotamia. His name was Abram, though we later know him as Abraham. He was a man of his time, raised in a city filled with idols and pagan worship. But one day, something extraordinary happened. The God of the universe, the creator of everything, called out to him. "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household," God said, "and go to the land I will show you." Imagine what this would have felt like. Abram had a comfortable life in Ur, family, wealth, a community. And now God was telling him to leave it all behind. No GPS, no maps, no clear destination. Just faith. He must have been terrified. But Abram did something remarkable. He trusted. He believed in the voice calling him, and he set off. Leaving everything behind, taking his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all that they had. God had a plan, a big one. After all, this was no ordinary journey. God promised Abram something that must have seemed impossible. "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." Not only that, but God said, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." God was making a covenant, a promise to Abram. "I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky." That's a big promise, one that for someone with no children at the time would have been hard to comprehend. Faith isn't easy, though. It wasn't an easy path for Abram. Along his journey, he faced famine, hardships, and doubts. His journey wasn't just geographical, it was spiritual. In fact, one of the most trying tests came when God told Abram to sacrifice his son. Years passed, and though Abram and Sarai grew older, God promised that they would have a child, a son, Isaac. A miracle, considering Sarai was well beyond childbearing age. But the birth of Isaac brought joy, and it also brought a new test. God spoke to Abram again. This time he said something that would test the very core of Abram's faith. "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering." Imagine the pain Abram must have felt. His only son, the son of promise, the son through whom all those blessings were supposed to come. Was God asking him to give it all up? Was this a cruel test? Despite the pain in his heart, Abraham obeyed. The next morning he set off with Isaac and 2 servants. They traveled for 3 days to Mount Moriah, a place Abraham knew God had chosen. And as they approached the mountain, Isaac, carrying the wood for the offering, asked his father, "Where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abraham responded, "God will provide the lamb." Even in the face of what seemed like the greatest test, Abraham's faith never wavered. He trusted that God's plan was greater than his pain. And then, just as Abraham raised the knife to offer Isaac, an angel called out, "Abraham, Abraham!" He stopped. And there, caught in the thicket, was a ram, a substitute for Isaac. God had provided. Abraham had passed the ultimate test. He had trusted God even when it didn't make sense. And in return, God reaffirmed his promise. "I will bless you and your descendants, and through them, all nations will be blessed." As Abraham's life continued, his faith was tested time and time again. But each test brought him closer to the God who had called him. And each time, God proved his faithfulness. Abraham would go on to live a long life, 175 years, surrounded by the blessings God had promised him. He would see his son Isaac grow into the man who would carry the covenant forward. And through Isaac's descendants, the nation of Israel was born. But it didn't stop there. God's promise to Abraham wasn't just for one nation, it was for all people. Through Abraham's line, Jesus Christ would eventually be born, bringing blessings to the entire world. What can we learn from the story of Abraham? First, Abraham's faith was not blind. It was a faith grounded in a relationship with God. He questioned, he doubted, but he always trusted God's promises. Abraham's life teaches us that faith is a journey, a lifelong commitment to trusting in God's plan, even when the path is unclear. It's about stepping into the unknown with confidence, not because we know the end, but because we trust the one leading us. Abraham also teaches us about the importance of obedience. God's commands don't always make sense in the moment, but obedience opens the door to blessings we can't even imagine. And finally, Abraham's story reminds us that no matter where we are in life, God's promises are real. They may not come in the time or way we expect, but they are sure. Abraham's story is a testament to the power of faith and obedience. It's a reminder that just like him, we are all on a journey that, when we trust God, will lead to blessings far beyond what we could ever imagine. Abraham's legacy lives on. His faith in God set the foundation for nations, for generations, for all of us. And just like Abraham, we are invited to trust in the promises of God, no matter how impossible they seem. Thank you for watching.